Hey guys, welcome to another weekly draft video here on the Neat Zone Magic channel. We're back with some more Battle for Zendikar, and I'll see you when the first pack opens. Alright. We got a veteran war leader who I don't really like taking with the first pick. This isn't the most exciting pack ever. Yeah, this is a really unexciting pack. The veteran war leader is good, but only if you end up in a green-white ally deck, basically. I guess it's good in any deck where you have a lot of Eldrazi tokens, but it's best when you have a bunch of allies. I don't know. I think Stone Fury is probably the best card in this pack. Just not a very exciting pack. Courier Griffin's good too. Chasm Guide, Tunneling Geopede are both fine, but they're basically filler. Smite the Monstrous, can be good, but Stone Fury is always good if you can cast it, if you're in red. So I think that's what I take here. Just go for the Stone Fury. That is what I will take. All right, a Touch of the Void, following it up, seems pretty good to me. And that's what we'll take here. Clutch of Currents is also very good, but I like Touch of the Void a little bit more. And that's what I'll take here. Okay, an Evolving Wilds, a Wasteland Strangler, huh? Yeah, he's tricky to make work, but I mean, in a worst-case scenario, he's a 3-mana 3/2 with all the colorless synergies that you like to have in those colors. Also an Evolving Wilds, which can, enable a splash. But I'm kind of leaning towards taking the Strangler. The Skimmer still being here probably means black's pretty open. We do need to get some ingest stuff for him to be really good, but he's playable either way. I mean, he's a lot more boring if you can't use his ability. But really, it's Wasteland Strangler, Silent Skimmer, and Evolving Wilds, I think, are the best cards left in this pack. And I think I'm going to take the Strangler here. Okay, a Skitter Skin goes well with that. Might be what I take here. We did just see a Forerunner of Slaughter. It'd be nice if it would come back to us. Kozilek's Channeler is also pretty good. Probably better than Skitter Skin, in fact. Skitter Skin's definitely good, but you have to be in an aggressive deck. And Kozilek's Channeler is really good in any deck. I mean, he's at his best in a deck where you have some big drops you want to get down. But I think I'll take the Channeler here. Slide Runner's good, but I think I'm going to go with the Channeler over the Slide Runner. I can probably get some Slide Runners a little bit later. Valakut Predator is really good. I think that's probably what I take here. It's probably the best card of those that are left here, so yeah, I'll take it. Valakut Invoker is good too, of course, but the Predator is just better. Okay, and there's an Invoker for us as well. White looks kind of open. Undergrade Horn and Shadow Glider, I think, are both main deckable good cards. Lifespring Druid being here means green might be open too. So that's worth thinking about. It's either the Druid or the Invoker, I think. I think the Druid's like better on the whole, but I think the Invoker already fits into our deck. Black hasn't appeared to be that open though, so it may be worth thinking about. Yeah, I think the Lifespring Druid has a higher ceiling for this deck. If we don't see some good black stuff, we probably won't end up running black. And like here, I'll take an Ondu Champion. The other stuff in the pack is fine, but although I don't really like Kite Sail Scout, Dutiful Return, or Dispel, or Reckless Cohort. So actually, it's not okay stuff, but Ondu Champion's fine. So we could end up green-red, which would be completely different. Seeing that Strangler early looked like a good sign, but it was early enough that people may have just not wanted to have to commit to the archetype, which is true. He's not especially first pickable. I picked him up with a third pick, where I think he's fine, but we may end up in sort of a red-green landfall ramp deck type thing. Okay, well, now we're seeing some more colorless, good black stuff, rather. That also happens to be colorless. So who knows what's going to happen. I think I'll take Dominator Drone here. It has Devoid and Ingest, which is relevant with our Wasteland Strangler. Kalastria Nightwatch is also good, but I think if we really end up in the red-black deck, we'll like Dominator Drone a little more. Okay, this guy came all the way back around. There's also a Stalwart He's not that great unless you have a lot of allies, and it doesn't look like we're going to have a lot of them. I think I'm going to take a Stalwart. Maybe we end up going 3 colors. We do have the Lifespring Druid to enable that. Yeah, this Courier Griffin, Core Castigator, Shadow Glider, all say to me that white's pretty open. And worth thinking about for sure. Myers Malice is fine, but I think I just take another Stalwart. Maybe we end up in a 3-color deck with green as the base and red as the second color, and maybe black as a tertiary color. That does mean Dominator Drone and Wasteland Strangler actually won't be that good in our deck, though, because there aren't that many Ingestors in those colors. I think red only has 1, and I don't even know if green has 1. But we'll just have to see what happens. That is more allies, though, for Undo Champion, which is relevant. Do we want Sure Strike or Tajuru Beastmaster? We could just move into red-green allies with relative ease as well, and just lose the black cards. So I think I'm leaning towards taking the Beastmaster over the Sure Strike. Yeah, I will. So, thinking red-green allies. We may splash a 3rd color. It will definitely make our Stalwart better if we can. But even if you can't, it's not awful, and we have Lifespring Druid, which can potentially make it a 3/4, so... Okay, I'll take the Whiptail. Hopefully I don't have to play it, but... I mean, red-green, I mean, we basically have most of the green allies, other than the uncommon one that's really good. The Tajuru Warcaller, I think, is +2/+2 to your whole team, something like that. Yeah. We'll just have to see what happens in this second pack to sort of figure out whether we want to be playing black at all. It wouldn't be hard to do, but we did pass a Forerunner of Slaughter, and clearly someone else picked that up, so someone's in red-black already. Green-black can be good too, but we really haven't seen the cards for that. These are mostly, like, Wasteland Strangler, I guess, is more of a blue-black card. I'll take a Plummet for the sideboard. And I'll take a basic land and another one. And Dominator Drone's better in a red-black deck than it is in anything else. But Wasteland Strangler's probably at its best in a blue-black deck where you have the most ingest possible. Okay, Hero of Gomafada. This makes me want to consider just going 3-color allies. There's also a Turn Against, which I think is very good. People, you know, kind of forget that you can use it at instant speed, it seems like, so far in the format. Outnumber is also pretty good. So it's either Turn Against or Hero of Gomafada, though. I think the Hero... How many allies do we have already? We just have 4. But it is pretty early. And the Hero, we'd have to splash a 3rd color or do something crazy, whereas Turn Against, we don't have to do that. So I think I'm actually leaning towards taking the Turn Against. You can easily 2-for-1 your opponent with it. Steal their creature, block one of their other creatures with it. And it's pretty great. So I think I'd probably take it. Retreat to Emiria could also be good with our ally triggers and stuff, but yeah, I mean, Complete Disregard's good too, of course, but I think we take Turn Against here. It'll fit into whatever deck we make, as long as red's in it, I guess. Conduit of Ruin, it's pretty good. There's a Nettle Drone for the red-black deck. Leaning towards the Conduit of Ruin. I've drafted that guy so many times, I feel like. Pilgrim's Eye could help us splash a 3rd color. But I think the Conduit, you know, 6-mana 5/5 who can also search our library for something that costs 7 is pretty good. Especially if we get the Plated Crusher or things like that. Oh, no, it has to be colorless. Still, though, I think that's better than the rest of what we see here. I mean, the Slide Runner's good, and we don't have any 2-drops, but Conduit of Ruin reduces the cost of all our creature spells, too, so that's pretty good. Okay, Vestige of Emrakul is probably what I take here. I could pick up another Dominator Drone, but I think I just take the Vestige. There's also Void Attendant, but we have to be ingesting things for that to really be relevant, which doesn't look super likely in our deck. So yeah, we're just going to take a Vestige. We definitely do need to get a few 2-drops at some point, I would say. So another Tajuru Beastmaster would be nice, as would like all the good red allies. The one with that gives menace to everything would be really great, for example. Vile Aggregate, huh? See, now that deck is looking open, the red-black deck. There's a Sludge Crawler, Vile Aggregate, Complete Disregard. To my right, it seems pretty open. Aligned Hedron Network is interesting, but it's not good in our deck, I don't think. We have 2 creatures already that are big enough that they get hit by it, and we'll probably end up with more. Well, kind of rethinking my whole strategy here now that we see this Vile Aggregate. And thinking about just getting rid of these. And doing this. And taking the Vile Aggregate. Complete Disregard is also very good, but Vile Aggregate is just crazy good, as is Sledge Crawler. But yeah, I'll take the Vile Aggregate here, I think. Yeah. That is what we'll take. And now we'll take a Slide Runner, I think. But I think red-black is where we want to be, even though someone else is definitely in that deck. But yeah, here we'll take a Slide Runner. The 2-drops are good to have. I mean, we've already got a number of colorless things going on, which is good. And now we can focus a little more on getting them, like Kozilek's Sentinel, which is really good. And what we're going to take here, another 2-drop. Vestige of Emrakul is also good, but I think the Sentinel's definitely better. Okay, there's a Ruin Processor, which is something we can search for with our Conduit. There's also a Mindraker, but I think I like the Processor a little more. Gives us a card to get with our Conduit of Ruin, and at times we'll be able to gain life from it. Right now we have 2 cards with Ingest. It'd be nice to end up with a few more than that. Sludge Crawler and things like that are probably still going to be available in the 3rd pack. So, it seems pretty good. Turn Against is colorless too, huh? That's good. Yeah, we have a lot of creatures that are pretty great. And then we have 3 really good removal spells. Okay, do we want Rising Miasma? What does that do to our board? Yeah, it kills a lot of it. I think I'd rather just have another Stone Fury. Sure Strike is also worth thinking about. But yeah, I'm going to go with Stone Fury here. And here, I think I take... Do I want a Demon's Grasp? I mean, I think Stone Fury is just better. So, and we have 2 of them already, and I think I'll just take a Looming Spires here. Works especially well with McKindy's Slide Runner, Valakut Predator, but it's good with anything, obviously. Okay, not really anything for us in this pack. Kind of, I think I'll just take the best card that's left, which I think is this Ranger. And who knows, if we end up in green, we may play it, but I think we definitely are better off in red-black. We just have a lot of really good red cards. Oh, Touch of the Void also exiles stuff for our Wasteland Strangler, incidentally. I guess here I'll take Nirkana Assassin. Probably won't make our deck. I'm hopeful that it won't. There we go, Sludge Crawler. That's what we want. Definitely want some Nettle Drones. I'll take a Volcanic Upheaval for the sideboard. And is Swarm Surge super great in our deck? Not really. I could have taken it, I guess, on a speculation that I'm going to pick up way more colorless creatures. But yeah, I don't think we play that. Hopefully we don't play the Whiptail. Drowner of Hope. Man. Blue... It's a really good pack for blue, red, and Drowner of Hope and Ruination Guide are both really good. Kozilek, Sentinel, Vestige of Emrakul are probably the best cards for us. But man, this Drowner's good. If we'd picked up any fixing, I'd think about taking it because it's just that crazy good. But there's just not any fixing. I think I'm just going to have to take a Kozilek Sentinel. Gideon's Reproach is also good. There's another Lifespring Druid, so if we were still in that deck. And there's also a Catacomb Sifter, which is probably relevant. Which is what we would have taken if we ended up black-green anyway. But yeah, I'll take another Sentinel, I guess. It's not incredible, but it's good. Ooh, Deathless Behemoth. Does seem pretty good for us. We don't have any way to bring him back, but he's a 6-mana colorless 6/6 with Vigilance, which is good, obviously. So I think we take him here for sure. Could take another Stone Fury, but 2 is probably enough on that. So yeah, take a Deathless Behemoth. You could take a 2-drop here, but there's a Silent Skimmer, and I think he's super good. More so than a Akum Stonewaker by a lot. Hagra Sharpshooter is actually better than it looks, I've found, but it's not what we want right now when we have a Silent Skimmer. There's another Catacomb Sifter. Otherwise, this pack really isn't that exciting for us. Geyserfield Stalker's okay. But not amazing. I'm kind of thinking about taking the Sifter. I mean, if I can splash green for it, wouldn't be too bad. But it's not amazing in our deck either because we don't have we don't have any Scions, right? At this point. Yeah. I mean, I think I just take a Geyserfield Stalker. It may end up in our deck. I'll put it there for now. There's a Munda. Man, now these colors are looking super dried up all of a sudden. Incubator Drone is probably the best card in this pack of what's left. Curio Griffin's good too. Munda obviously is good in the right deck. I think I'm going to take a Swarm Surge. It's looking better and better in our deck, so... Okay, a Culling Drone is the kind of thing we want. Bone Splinters is tempting, but we have good removal already, and Culling Drone, I think, is a little better for us right now. Yeah, I wish we'd been in the colorless deck from the beginning. We've managed to pick up some good stuff for it. Lots of colorless creatures anyway. Another Dominator Drone is, I think, what I want here. Bloodbound Vampire is fine, but we don't have the life gain. And Dominator Drone is just going to be better in our deck. So, that Blister Pod still being there is pretty interesting. Green's probably pretty open. Yeah, I mean, some Nettle Drones would really pull this deck together, but I doubt we get those. We passed some early. And we passed a Forerunner of Slaughter, so it's pretty likely someone to our left is also red-black. And they probably have, unfortunately for them, seen those colors dry up more in the last few packs. Yeah, we definitely have enough colorless creatures now for Swarm Surge to be good, I think. Okay, there's a Grave Birthing and another Swarm Surge, but I don't think we want a second Swarm Surge. I think picking up 1 Bone Splinters is usually good. Grave Birthing's fine, but it's not super exciting in our deck. We just don't have that many synergies with it. Whereas Bone Splinters, I mean, it's at its best in a deck where you have Eldrazi Scions, but having 1 in your deck, as cheap removal to get rid of a creature that, in the late game is irrelevant to kill one of your opponent's biggest creatures isn't a bad deal. I'm a pretty big proponent of running just 1 in every black deck. Usually not more than that, but that Catacomb Sifter came back, which is pretty nuts. I think I'll take the Champion. Our only 2 allies, but giving our whole team Trample doesn't seem bad. Especially if we have the big guys out there. Yeah, I think I'll take an Invoker over Altar's Reap here. We're going to have to cut a few things, and that Invoker may be one of the first things that gets cut. And this Stalker and this Invoker both are pretty underwhelming. They're not super synergistic with the rest of our deck. Yeah, Bone Splinters actually may get the axe too. I guess I could cut one Ondu Champion without losing too much. Yeah, I'll probably cut one Ondu Champion and one Bone Splinters. Do I want two Swarm Surges in my deck? I think probably not, but we're going to stick it in here. I'll take a 2-drop away from somebody, I guess, even though it's not the best one. And now I'll take basic lands. Well, Retreat to Valakut's still here, huh? Yeah, we don't want it. I think it's, I mean, I don't like the retreats a lot, but it's still, I've never seen one still be in the pack like as the last card. It's pretty crazy. All right, I think we leave Ruin Processor in. We ended up with a handful of creatures who can ingest, which is enough. And our Conduit of Ruin can search it up. We need to cut 2 more cards, though. I think we lose Bone Splinters. That's a good sideboard card, probably, more than anything. We can side it in against opponents who have really big threats for us to deal with. And we can probably cut 1 Swarm Surge. We probably don't want 2 of them. We ended up with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's not a creature. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 colorless creatures. Even though we didn't go like full on into colorless until late. So that's good for our Vile Aggregate and for our Swarm Surge, both. But yeah, we want 18 lands in this thing, so let's put our Looming Spires. Well, we're going to sort by color first. Yeah, we definitely ended up with more red than black. And we have 3 things with double red, so I think, I mean, that's a little extreme. Oh, we should put our Looming Spires in here first. I think I'd rather go 7, 10. It gives us 7 black sources and 11 red sources. Yeah, I think that's fine. All right, well, that is our deck. We built a red-black deck. We sort of changed paths mid-draft because we started seeing like Vile Aggregate and stuff like that. And I think it's going to work out for us pretty well. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like.